Hello and welcome to the Open Ultra League. This is me Abir
And this is me, Harsh.
and we are going to be jumping straight into it. We're running a very fun ABB team with two mons in the back which are super weak to counter, and we had a great lead over there against the Sylveon. That's where we want to see a Charmer or a fighter, right? The Venusaur. But we have to switch out to the Obstagoon because we have an ABA weakness to fire. As you can see that Venusaur and Weavile are both weak to fire, and that was very unfortunate. We ended up shielding a Dragon Claw. We really thought that was the blast burn, but he baits us. And then now he's going for another move. What do you think this is going to be?
I think he's gonna
So this was a blast burn and we successfully shielded, but I don't see how we can flip this. There's literally no way. But we're still going to try our best to get switch advantage back, because if we don't, we're looking really bad. Maybe this is a Dragon Claw and we can survive, but nope, he goes for the blast burn and kind of booms us.
Yeah.
So
the opponent has realized that we are weak to fire,
but then he throws the Dragon Claw, which gives us a chance to farm him down, and we're going to go straight for and we don't actually, so we switch out to Venusaur because this is our only win condition, because we need to save our Venusaur and we hope that he's weak in the back to Venusaur, and let's find out what happens. We're going for another Frenzy Plant because the Sludge Bomb won't have KO'd anyway, and he has an Empoleon, so we can go for one Frenzy Plant, and this is going to do a massive damage, and we're going to win the CMP tie against the Empoleon with our Weavile. And remember, we banked a foul play, and in comes the Weavile. We go for the foul play, and that's going to be a good game. So in this case, the opponent misplayed slightly. He should not have brought in the Charizard on our Venusaur, since that was his only hard counter to it. But our Venusaur is able to clutch out big time last match, even though we ended up shielding the wrong move. But we're going to take one of those wins and we hop into the second battle. And this is against a Swampert. And the opponent is going to switch out right now, and he switches into Giratina. And as you can see, our backline absolutely dominates Giratina. So we bring in the Weavile here. The reason is that Weavile does not have a lot of great matchups in the meta. So we are saving Obstagoon just in case he has a Wallrain or something. And as you can see, we can easily tank a couple of Dragon Claws, and we're going straight for the Avalanche. Going to do massive damage. He lets it go. And we can easily farm him down. If he had double shielded there, he could have actually flipped switch advantage, but he chooses not to do that. We're going for another Avalanche, and he shields, and we're going for another Avalanche. So Weavile putting in a lot of work, gets to 3 Avalanches, and he shields the second one as well. I don't know why he's shielding his Swampert, to be honest, because that's kind of dead weight against Venusaur. He's gonna bait us with the Hydro Cannon, but that doesn't really matter. And he brings in an Alolan Muk. And this is looking amazing. He throws on Force Null, so this cannot be the Sludge Wave, so we don't shield it, and it turns out that he's not even running the Sludge Wave. So he's running Acid Spray and Dark Pulse, which is not recommended in the Ultra League. We're going to go straight for the Hyper Beam, but he quits. He doesn't want to get beamed. So we are unable to land the Hyper Beam in this match. But let's see. I think we do end up landing a Hyper Beam in this video. I don't remember which battle it was, but let's jump into the third battle, and we pick up the Nightmare lead. Toxicroak is really bad for this team because it completely destroys the backline. It can just counter down both of the mons in the back, and the worst part is we both reach our moves at the same time. It's 6 Vine Whips to a Frenzy Plant, and it's 6 counters to a Mud Bomb. So he switches into a Snorlax, which is not bad for the Obstagoon, but if he lands a Super Power, and we are going to call it, but we get boomed by the Snorlax. We almost get boomed, and we are going straight for the Night Slash. We don't even have Cross Chop. If we had Cross Chop, that may have KO'd, but we have to shield here. We have to maintain alignment. If the Toxicroak gets up against the Weavile, the match is as good as over. So we have to keep alignment. Throw 2 Night Slashes, and we somehow managed to deny him. I thought the new game mechanic would not allow that, but somehow we managed to deny him, and we get in 2 Night Slashes, which does provide some useful chip damage. And we are still quite ahead on energy because we did farm down extra against the Fat Boy, and we are going for the Frenzy, but again we end up going for CMP tie, and we absolutely have to shield this, and this is looking terrible because we are out of shields, and the next Mud Bomb, he's going to reach it first and he's going to win the CMP tie, but he switches out, and that gives us a small win condition. We're able to catch the Icicle Spear on Weavile, waste all of that energy from the thick fat walrus, and we are snarling him down. Let's see what happens.
We go for
he's going straight for the Icicle Spear, so that's a definite misplay on his part, and we're going to outpace him, and we're going to get to the next foul play, but this looks like to be a CMP tie. Can Weavile survive this? Weavile is super tanky. Actually, it's not. It's very glassy. But we just barely survive it and we're able to get off another foul play. That's going to be clutch. And now we're going to try to snipe him with the Venusaur. We need one more Vine Whip and we had the Frenzy Plant. We outpace the Toxic Rock and we win a match that we had no business winning. This was hard counter, almost hard counter, but we are able to pull out a crazy win. Good game. So that's 3 wins in a row, and this team is looking pretty good. But remember that this is in the 2000 ELO, so if you are looking at the higher ELOs, this team may not put in all that work. But at this range, this team is so good, and it's so much fun playing with her. So we pick up a lead against a neutral Venusaur, so we have to switch out to the Obstagoon because we need to bait out the fighter or the charmer, right?
Yeah.
That's how the team works. We need to bait it out and beat it with Venusaur, but he does not seem to have one.
He has a very spicy Pokemon.
He has a very spicy mon, the Evitar, and we're going straight for the Hyper Beam.
The
Boom!
opponent does not respect it at all.
Opponent gets absolutely wasted by that Hyper Beam, and he brings in a Charizard, which is very good against us. And he throws the Dragon Claw here, so we don't need to shield this. We can easily survive this and get off one Night Slash. And this is going to do some chip damage, but Charizard is absolute bad news for this team. He still has one shield, so we have to bring in the Weavile because Weavile can at least go for the Avalanche and one-shot him, whereas Venusaur gets dominated. But he, for some reason, he doesn't even shield. He knows we had the Venusaur, but not the smartest of plays by the opponent. And going for the Dragon Claw, we're able to farm him down, and he brings in his Venusaur, and he makes another mistake. Throwing the energy, he could have farmed us down, but to be honest, the match is already over. We have a full health Venusaur. He's in the range of just one Sludge Bomb, so this is just going to be a fun ending. Not the most exciting, but it's going to be a pretty easy win. And so this team is a lot of fun, isn't it? How was the experience using Weavile? What would you say?
It's a little glassy, but huge attack stats.
True. Weavile is super glassy and you have to keep it away from fighters and charmers. I mean, fighters would it would probably take, I don't know, 5 counters from Shadow Machamp to farm down a Weavile. But it is super fun, and that's why we have this channel. We like to run some spice, and we are getting some really nice results with this. And this set was a 4-1. The first game, we lost that game to some other team. It was another spicy team. I don't even remember what we were running.
Yeah, we were running Swampert in the lead.
Yeah, we were running Swampert with the double spice in the back, but we changed it to this team, and this team did pretty well in the first set. We ended up going 4-1, and now we are hopping into the second set. This is going to be another very super fun set, and no spoilers. Let's see how this set goes. So picking up a lead against Machamp. Okay, so this is amazing. Seeing Machamp on the lead is always good news. We're going to build up to 7 and throw the Frenzy Plant, trying to CMP tie on the Rock Slide, and we're just going to call the first one, but he goes for close combat. So he is a mad lad running close combat, but at least this guarantees a shield, and it guarantees that he switches out. So we bring in our Obstagoon to counter this Walrus. We could not have stayed in with the Venusaur because the Powder Snows were doing too much damage. Ideally, we would have liked to farm down some energy and then switch out, but we really couldn't do that against the Fat Walrus. So we're just going to spam out some Night Slashes, hoping for a boost so that we can do some damage to Machamp, but this is looking really bad. We have to shield this. If we flip switch, the match is over. Like I said, if there's a counter user against the Weavile, there's nothing you can do. So we throw one Night Slash, hoping that he thinks it's a cross chop and shields. I don't know, but he doesn't. He's a smart player. He lets it go. And now his Machamp has a huge energy lead, and honestly, I don't see any win condition here. Only if he switches out and gives us a chance to farm extra. But he has Ampharos, which is a decently tanky mon, and Weavile looks useless in this matchup because it's just food for the Machamp. So we're trying to reach one Avalanche here. Can we reach the Avalanche? What do you think, Harsh? Can we reach it? We die with the move, and that's
not good.
That just seals the game because there's nothing we can do. He still had a shield. If he didn't have a shield, there was a chance. But like this, there's absolutely nothing we can do. Well played to the opponent, and that's a good game. Not really for us, but it's a good game for the opponent. And now we're going to get into the second battle here. We are still believing in our backline. That's okay. We can lose one game to a fighter lead, but let's see. Hopefully no more fighters, and we pick up a bad lead. So what we do here is that we switch instantly. We need to draw out the fighter, and we do. So we're trying to reach the Hyper Beam here, but we get taken out, and we don't even get off one Night Slash. We could have maybe taken out 2 Night Slashes there and brought him down into farm down range for Venusaur, but a big misplay by us. And this looks to be, I think that's going to be a second loss in a row, or let's see what happens. This looks pretty hopeless. We have to shield a second Rock Slide. This would almost take us out, and we have to save some energy, farming up and throwing just before he reaches the next cross chop. This is going to take out the Machamp, and thankfully he lets it go. This is all up to Weavile. This looks like a CMP tie because he didn't get in a Powder Snow. So it is a CMP tie. So it's Weavile versus two Mons. A super glassy Weavile versus a super tanky Walrus. Even shields 1v2. This looks terrible. The only win condition is have to call this. I'm calling it. And he baits us, and the call is absolutely correct. So we are able to at least get something going for us. We get off a foul play, we overfarm a little bit just before he reaches the Earthquake and throw another foul play. This is going to take him out if he lets it go, and he does. And he has a Venusaur in the back, so this looks doable. Can an Avalanche knock him out from 100 health? What do you think, Harsh?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. So we had the back-to-back avalanches. We're going straight for the two avalanches. He lets one in, and now let's see what happens. We just overfarm a little bit because why not? One snarl extra damage, and boom! We one-shot a Venusaur, and I remember we were so excited after this match because we did not think that Weavile would actually one-shot a full health Venusaur in the Ultra League. So
but as you can see,
Weavile has no chill. Weavile is the chillest Pokemon because it's the ice type, but it has no chill when it comes to a battle. Picking up another Venusaur lead, and we're going to do the same thing. Instantly switch. We need to draw out the counter user or the fairy type, and he brings in the Alolan Mug. This time he throws on 5. So this could be the Sludge Wave. Let's see, and it is the Sludge Wave. We can overfarm a little bit and go straight for the Hyper Beam, and Obstagoon booms the Alolan Mug, and that is a Hyper Boom from the Obstagoon. And we're going for the Night Slash, but he's a smart player. He throws it on the CMP, making sure we don't get off a move. So we have flip switch, we bring in the Weavile. Our plan is to overfarm significantly, but since he doesn't throw, so there's no point in overfarming. We're just going straight for the Avalanche, and he shields. It's a CMP tie.
As we know, one Avalanche can take the Venusaur out
easily, and we know that if he's shielding this, and he has a Swampert in the back, so his fate is sealed. There's nothing he can do. This is an Earthquake, but even if he gets off the Earthquake, there's really not much he can do. So we're just going to go straight for the Frenzy, but things could get tricky actually because he outpaces us to the next Hydro Cannon. He only needs 4 mud shots to the next Hydro, so we have to shield this here. So we shield this, and we're going to farm down the Swampert, throw one Sludge Bomb, and we are very close to the Avalanche on our Weavile. Now the opposing Venusaur is also out of energy, so he cannot take out both of our Mons. He can only take out one. So we bring in the Weavile to force him to throw. So he has to throw here, otherwise we'll reach the Avalanche, and we're just one Vine Whip away, and we get off the Sludge Bomb.
And that's going to be a good game.
A good game. Obstagoon putting in so much of work in this match, landing the Hyper Boom. Now we're going to get into the 4th battle now? Is it the 3rd? Okay, we're getting into the 4th battle. We lost one match over there, the first one against the Machamp lead. And let's see, picking up match against Noel. And this is a Nightmare lead. This is so bad. Venusaur gets absolutely bullied by Dragonite. So we have to switch out to the Obstagoon, and he's running some spice. He's running a Landorus Therian in the Open Ultra League. Massive kudos to this guy. But as you can see, it's super glassy in the Open Ultra League. The sky high attack stats, but very low bulk. So he's at the back-to-back superpowers. No point in shielding. We'll have to shield twice. So there's no point in doing that. The Dragonite can sweep us if we give him a 2 shield advantage. So we have to let that go. Bring in the Venusaur. Just take whatever he throws. He goes for the superpower, which doesn't do much. And now again, this match is up to Weavile. Let's see if Weavile can pull this off. We know that we can one-shot it, and he brings in this Registeel. This is one of the tankiest Pokemon in the Ultra League. I think it's ranked 1 in Open Ultra, this Mon, and it's stupidly tanky. You'll see how much this foul play does. We were expecting it to do around 40% at least, but it doesn't even do 30. And this is not even a debuffed move. So this is heartbreaking because this is just way too less damage. We're going to keep going for the foul plays here, hoping that we can land 2. And the Venusaur is dead weight, so we have to use the Venusaur, and we have to catch it. That's the only way we can win. And even then, there's no guarantee that we win this game. So we're going to try to overfarm significantly. We need all the energy we can get, and we bring in the Venusaur. We're able to catch, but still, this is just a focus blast, and the Dragonite is going to get massive farm from here. The only way to win this game is if we can somehow land, we can get a shield with the Sludge Bomb, because Sludge Bomb won't kill. If he's smart, he lets this go, and he does let it go, and this looks terrible. We bring in the Weavile, and he gets off a Dragon Claw, and this is looking really bad. Because we can get off one Avalanche, we can get the second one, but as you see, the Dragon Claw just went. The Dragon Tail just went through, and that's going to be a good game. So picking up a really bad lead against Dragonite, and picking up a very bad end game with the Registeel. And like I said, the XL Mons are just too OP, and if you don't have perfect alignment, it's really difficult to win. So hopping into Cresselia, so it all matters whether he's throwing the future side, but he throws on 7. So this can only be a Moonblast. He does not even bother building up to 8, which is what you need for the future side. So it's very important to count moves, especially in the open Ultra League, because things are so tanky. You really don't want to waste your shields. And he's going straight for a Moonblast or Grass Knot, and he goes for the Grass Knot here. And we're just going to keep farming through another Frenzy Plant. If he shields, he's definitely weak to Venusaur. And he does shield, so we're going to switch out to our Obstagoon, but before that, we're going to grab the second shield here. So we get the second shield. He's clearly weak to Venusaur. We switch out and we unknowingly catch a Moonblast, but that's fine, that's fine. We still have another Dark type. We have 2 shields in the back for Weavile, so there's no point in shielding this because he's not switching out either. So he's probably weak to Venusaur and Weavile, which doesn't make the most of sense, but let's find out what's happening. We sack our Obstagoon because we want to make this a Weavile feature. So Weavile is going to come in, get in 3 Snarls worth of energy, which is a lot. And with 2 shields, if he doesn't have a Fight or a Charmer, but he has the tanky Registeel. So in hindsight, the opponent definitely made a huge misplay shielding his Cresselia against the Venusaur because Venusaur can't really do much against the Registeel. But with so much of an energy lead, we can actually easily win this matchup because we can shield here, we can shield twice, keep over farming, and he has a Regirock as well. And the thing with Regirock is that it loads super fast. A Stone Edge is only around 55 energy and it loads in, I don't know the exact number of turns, but he loads it way faster than we load our moves. So we have to bring in our Venusaur because we cannot one-shot him with the foul play, but we can one-shot him with the Frenzy Plant, and that happens. And in comes the Registeel. We're going straight for the Frenzy Plant. The only way the opponent wins is if he farms this down entirely so that he can just focus plus the Weavile. But as you can see, Venusaur is putting in a lot of work. We would have actually reached the next Frenzy Plant. He's forced to throw, and we are just 2 Snarls away from a foul play, and we don't even need to throw it. And that is a good game. So that was a pretty tough match, but the opponent definitely misplayed. Had he saved some shields for his Registeel, he may have won that game. And that's a 3-2, and we'll see you guys in the next video.